welcome to our Tech Talk series. Today's topic is on Oracle Unlimited License Agreements and the impact to ERP clients. Joining me today is Jeremy Saylor with our License Advisory Services Group. Jeremy, good to see you again.
Thank you, Kara.
So tell me a little bit about an Oracle ULA and why would clients want to sign up for this type of a license agreement?
Sure. So an unlimited agreement is where a client is going to pay a set of license fees for a designated period and have this unlimited deployment. Now, that unlimited term is really kind of a misnomer. There actually are several limitations within the unlimited license agreement that clients need to be aware of. Some examples are the entities that can deploy under that agreement. Those entities, affiliates, subsidiaries will all be specified in that order document, and only those entities can deploy under that agreement. Another limitation is the programs. Every single program that has the right to be deployed for this unlimited rate will be defined in that order document. So only those programs can be deployed in that fashion. The length of time for an unlimited agreement is specified. Typically we see a lot of these as a 3-year term, but it can really be any period that the client desires. But that will be the fixed term that they can deploy under this unlimited rate. Cloud is another limitation. Oracle allows clients to deploy to the cloud, but at the ULA certification date, they're not allowed to count those deployments. So that's a serious limitation. And finally, clients must maintain Oracle support throughout the ULA period. So there's a lot of different limitations that go into ULAs that clients need to be aware of. Now, who would want this type of agreement? A client that's looking at rapid growth in the very near future, they might want a ULA because maybe they don't want to have to buy incrementally each time they're adding a new set of programs. But these agreements really need to be managed carefully, otherwise they can turn out to be very costly licensing arrangements.
Okay, good advice. How would clients develop a more strategic approach then to their ULA?
Right, so I refer to ULAs as a race. So we talked about how those things have a limited time span. So when a client signs that ULA, they really need to start deploying immediately so that they can get the best return on investment. And the challenge here is that oftentimes business priorities can change. There's unforeseen circumstances that arise, and they might not get to that deployment that they were foreseeing when they signed the agreement. And in our experience, vendors like Oracle, they won't reduce those license fees or the associated support just because you haven't deployed at the rate that you were thinking. Now, to avoid this trap, I recommend that clients really evaluate that ULA proposal before they sign that agreement. They can look at the license fees on the ULA and compare it to previous purchases that they've made where they have a known quantity and a known license fee at a certain discount rate, and essentially establish a break-even point. And if they don't think that they can reach that point or exceed it, the ULA is probably not the best choice for them.
Okay, well, it sounds like you're fairly tenured in this space. What are some best practices or considerations that they need to be thinking about?
Sure, so read the fine print. We talked about a lot of the limitations that can be in ULAs, so clients need to understand those limitations, that they are aware of them and constantly keeping those at the forefront of their minds within that ULA term. Don't deploy non-ULA programs. That might sound silly, but if you're deploying programs that are not in an unlimited rate, at the end of that certification period, Oracle's going to find that you've deployed programs that you're not licensed for, and you'll have to buy additional license fees. Right. And finally, focus on your exit strategy from day one. Again, it's a race. You need to get that return on investment. You need to be thinking about certifying when you start that ULA. The license certification and the license quantity that you certify at the end of the ULA is your go-forward license compliance metric. So you need to make sure that it's correct. I've seen more than one client inaccurately count at that certification date, and they're immediately out of compliance. So with that in mind, you might want to engage a third-party license compliance firm, get some additional assistance, and make sure that you're making an accurate count upon certification.
Well, great strategies. Thanks, Jeremy, for joining us today. And for a deeper dive into ULAs, we can continue the discussion by reaching out to our License Advisory Services team at las@riministreet.com or contact your account manager today.